Hello, my name is Mel. I've been playing platform fighters competitively for the past 7 years, starting with Melee in 2014. It is by far my favorite genre of games, and I've wanted to do a video like this explaining my favorite part of the genre, movement. Often when people talk about Melee, and by extension, PM's movement, the go-to discussion point is wave dashing. However, while wave dashing is easily the most iconic thing to come out of Melee mechanically, it is actually not what I think makes these games have such incredible movement. Nothing in this video is meant to be groundbreaking information or anything. In fact, for the most part, players of Melee and PM already understand these mechanics and don't even think about them. I still think the topic is interesting, and I've wanted to make something I can show people more unfamiliar with these games. Now, I'm going to be using footage of PM for this video, however, almost everything I say applies to Melee as well. Without further ado, let's begin. In Melee and PM, you can pivot out of any point of your dash animation. This is what allows for dash dancing and lets you make very small adjustments in your grounded movement. Falcon, notably, has a long dash range, giving him an incredible dash dance game, a signature part of his kit. Dash dancing is an important part of Melee and PM because it allows you to be ambiguous with your grounded movement, allowing you to dash in and out of your opponent's threat ranges. You might think that having a long dash range is the end-all be-all in terms of basic grounded movement. However, this is only half the story of the game's grounded movement mechanics. Sheik has a poor dash range, leading to her having a weak dash dance game. However, this means she has access to her run much sooner, which is an important part of her character. The reason for this is because you can cancel your run state into a crouch, allowing for you to perform any grounded action out of it. This is huge for Sheik because it means that almost all times she has access to her strong grounded options, including crouch cancel. I won't get too into crouch canceling, but if you aren't familiar with this part of Melee and PM, I highly recommend watching SSPM Tutorial's short video on it. I will have this linked in the description. Now that I've explained how run is an equally important part to a character's ground game as dash, let's take another look at Falcon. While Falcon has an absolutely insane dash dance, this comes at the cost of losing the ability to quickly run and crouch. While Falcon's grounded normals aren't particularly amazing, bar jab, this more importantly means he can't run up crouch cancel, which is unfortunate because not only does Falcon have an incredibly strong crouch cancel, he has an incredible option out of it, grab. I won't get into just how strong Falcon's grab game is, but just know that it's a huge part of his punish game. With just these two characters, we can see how the dash and run states provide nuance to a character's balance. Now, all of this I mentioned applies to both Melee and PM. However, PM introduces a specific tech that further adds depth to dash and run, RAR. In Melee, the run turnaround state was almost completely useless, as the only things you could do out of it were dash attack and jump. Brawl introduced RAR, which solved the issue of run turnaround being terrible. By jumping out of run turnaround, you would keep the momentum from your run while facing in the opposite direction in the air. The most basic application of this is being able to quickly bear out of a run. Unfortunately, Brawl lacked the dash and run mechanics of Melee, so while it's an incredible addition to the series, it never reached its true potential until PM came along. As I explained before, PM has the same grounded movement mechanics as Melee, but with the addition of RAR, PM truly perfects it. RAR further adds an element of balance to dash and run, as you can only RAR out of a run state, meaning characters with shorter dashes get access to RAR quicker. Before I move on, I'd like to briefly mention some quality of life changes PM introduces that makes grounded movement feel a bit better. For one, you no longer need to input a jump cancel to up smash out of dash/run. You can instead input C-stick up to do it directly as long as you have the smash stick. Also worth noting is that by inputting any direction that isn't up on the C-stick, you can dash attack. One more prominent feature of PM, well, more specifically P+, is the ability to change your C-stick to be able to do tilts instead of smash attacks, allowing for tilts out of run much easier. That about covers it for what I wanted to do with this video. I was considering briefly mentioning what Rivals Vader and Slab City do differently, but I decided I'm happy with just Melee and PM, as this is something I've wanted to make for a bit over a year and a half. I hope I was able to explain why I think Melee and PM's movement is as incredible as it is, to some decent extent. I wanted to keep this brief as I don't really have the talent to do much more with the topic. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.